For the next couple seasons, I want to get to one of the top riders in the world and try to get to the 2014 Olympics.
My life goal has been to go to the Olympics. It's what I've always wanted to do since I was a little kid.
Join us as we follow some of Canada's top alpine snowboarders as they travel the globe in search of new destinations, adventure, and gold.
Being able to do this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, even if, you know, we don't reach our goals. Like, I've lived an incredible life getting to see all these places around the world.
Traveling with the Calgary Snowboard Club, it's a good environment. Everybody gets along pretty well, and it's a small, tight-knit family.
The thing I like most about racing is probably the speed, being on edge and the adrenaline rush.
Go for it and see who's best. It was the best feeling ever.
See how it goes. That's good.
In this episode of On Edge, we head to Copper Mountain, Colorado to compete in the first ever triple slalom.
The moon's still out, the sun hasn't started to rise yet. It's about 6 in the morning and we're heading up to set the race course. Today we're trying a new format called triple slalom, and it's the first time this format has been tried around the world, so it'll be interesting to see how it actually works, see if the theory actually meets the reality. There you go. Thank you. We're in the middle of November, and so in order to host this triple slalom or to do any preseason training, we have to have man-made snow and we have to be at a fairly high elevation. So we're fortunate here to be at Copper, where we can actually do a race just in the trees. So it's one of the very few places in the world this time of year where we can actually get some training, and we're in the tree line still. It's overcast, cloudy, and it's windy.
Looking at the weather this morning, Frisco, the closest town, saying it's going to be blowing at about 50k, so cover up. It's going to be a big wind chill. Hopefully we're shaded enough in the trees that we won't really see any of that wind.
Now, same thing, give me just chuck the drill in like a foot past the knot, or the same amount you did with this one. Does it perfectly. Good. Coach it. Scotty's a little softy right there, man.
Outside of safety, the number one concern when setting the course is to ensure that each competitor has a fair race and that the gates are properly spaced.
We're a little short. We're at 7 meters today. Hopefully we'll be at 8 meters, but I think we're going to be fine. We're going to be able to spread it out here a little bit more, so it should be down to 8 meters.
There's some substance. This is the rope we use just as a measuring tape. Bring her down. There, you guys got it? Let's hustle with it.
With the qualifiers scheduled to start at 9 a.m., course setters have 1 hour left to complete the course and make any final adjustments.
I'm just seeing if there's any gates that are a little too round or a little too straight, aren't working quite so well with the terrain. You know, it's one thing to be able to look up and kind of look when you're setting, and then once you actually, you know, side slip or snow plow through it, look ahead and get a rhythm going in your head, you can kind of see some little things you'd want to adjust.
Either you move the one where you're at in, or move this one out.
Where's the straighter? I'm not seeing where the straighter's standing.
Could be a red line like this, or not.
It's pretty common to move 2 or 3 gates after a set for a big race. Not bad. It's all right. Yeah, it's pretty good. Let's kind of look at this one over here.
So far, so good.
Down in that corner, I actually see how I went around the corner.
Yeah, it's only softer, so I kind of had to do that. Deeper.
Yeah, and it falls away in there. So the blue course isn't really at a disadvantage over there. Like,
Yeah.
it should be good. Well, surveying the courses is like so important because you got to make them really as fair and equal as possible, and you can't just go off your eye. And the big problem we had here is we can't have 3 equal courses right now. We're actually setting an invisible third course in there that will be part of our finals. So the third blue over is a lot further over, and just for the qualifications. Then we're going to move it in, and we'll have the 3 equal courses. Basically a logistical nightmare, especially with a bunch of people that have never done it before, including myself. But I think we got it figured out. The first 4 gates were a nightmare, and then it started running smooth, and we started getting in the rhythm, and it went together. You can move the finish line, Ballard, if you want to make it turn a bit more. There's no rules, eh? Like, I forgot about that, because once we're done the qualies, the eyes disappear. No, there's no timing today, so it's run more like a border cross or a moto or something like that. Those gates open, first one across the finish wins. Second, third, you're last. I think our biggest concern with safety is, are the courses far enough apart? Is that person in the middle gonna really feel pinched? Which is part of the mental game, I guess, and hopefully we don't have any atom smashers.
Well, first thing I see is there's a lot of gates down the hill. So, luckily they're different colors, so she'll be able to tell the difference.
Prior to the competition, the course is open for 30 minutes so riders can perform their final inspection.
We've done enough training with Steve Barlow that you get pretty comfortable with lots of people beside you and with the risk of them shooting out in your course. So
I know for me, I just got to make sure I stay honest with my line, keep it high, go round, which for me would probably end up being straight anyways, but that's all I got to think about and not worry about the other 2 people.
Gate to the first 5 or 6 gates, it gets good, and then you go down.
We get choice of lane if we do well enough, so if we sit in the top 9 seeds, then we get first pick first round.
There's not a fair start all the time, there's always a faster gate, and that's just the advantage of qualifying higher. And in this triple slalom format, it's just going to matter that you qualify higher so that you can get that faster course.
I should go into the final 2nd place, so.
Good enough, I'm still in the mix, so got to leave it up to this afternoon, I guess.
When we return, qualified riders battle it out in the finals.
It's a Buddha Champions. It's, go fast and you eat chili.
It's real sketchy and squirrely up at the top. Second one went a lot better. I was ripping it down there, felt a lot comfortable, like really comfortable on the board. And then about 4 gates from the bottom, I did a face plant, which kind of sucked, but I know I've got it now, and so I'm in the finals. I know I can bring it, so now it's time to turn it on in the triple, see what happens.
Starting this afternoon, it's going to be a whole new race, and as long as you beat the other 2 guys beside you, then you can keep moving on. Hopefully there's no carnage.
Probably me. Can't stop the kid.
All riders have their own way of preparing for competition, and some are far different than others.
Little trim at the start, winning mustache.
What's going to happen? Darren's going to beat you if you cut it off.
Oh, it's just a little trim, a little winning trim.
This is just for wind resistance. Darren took his clean off. Doesn't understand.
The start cadence is racer ready, attention, and then anytime randomly within 5 seconds the start gate will open. Barges are barges again today. All right? So, any questions? Okay, have a great race.
The middle course went into the blue course on the left side, and it just kind of all got debacled.
I made it about 4 gates in against Rock, and an American guy and boosted out of a toe side turn and landed on my ass and just knocked the wind right out of myself. Couldn't really breathe, and in the altitude it doesn't help, and yeah, I just gave up.
I think it's a great event as a decontracted kind of fun event, but as far as an Olympic event, there's no flipping way. There's too many variables, and as the Olympics move along, you want to eliminate as many variables as possible.
There are a lot of variables in triple slalom, but from the experience I had in the race, there's so many variables just in slalom riding alone that the courses, sure, there's going to be a difference from course 1 to course 3, but by the end of it, it really just comes down to who had a better run and who was able to hold on.
Especially if you have a dog leg in the course like what we have here, the outside course has a way longer distance to travel than the inside course.
Yeah, the outside course was definitely slower, but it was slower up top the way I looked at it because that's where we qualified, and the snow was a lot softer. So my tactic for that race was pretty much just kind of stay with it until you got down to where it started to bend to the left, and then I could really start to get on it and try to make up some time, which I was able to do 2 runs in a row.
You know what, this is by far the most exciting discipline ever, especially when you get a real snow warrior like Steve Barlow.
Never gives up.
I love the mayhem. I love the fact that you've got to compete against 2 other people that are just absolutely going for it, and even if one falls, you still got to pin it.
No, I think it does belong in the Olympics. It's only 5 runs, so it's a lot shorter of a day, and they can fit it a lot easier into TV. It's not really as hard on the athletes, but I think it's a lot more fun to watch, and it's a lot more fun to compete. Happy that I was able to win it, and happy that I think I made snowboarding history, but who knows? And it was a good win for me.
It is a NORAM race that was in the spirit of a true NORAM, and 2 countries came together, pulled off the first ever triple slalom event.
Cliff and Marianne have earlier flights, so we're going to go straight to the airport, even if you're going to your hotel. We're going to help get the stuff out quickly, and then you guys can backtrack and pick it up. 1, 2, 3.
All the longboard, I guess longboard's on the bottom, and
Ooh! That's alright. No, that's alright.
And don't break the truck.
Don't worry about that, that's nothing.
Well, we just left Copper Mountain today, where we tried our first triple slalom, and it was interesting. I think there's a lot of neat things about it. It was kind of cool to watch. It had a pretty good turnout. A lot of people stayed around. It moved fast. At the end of the day, I think the top results from our team was Megan got 3rd, and for our men, somewhere in top 10 is where our top guy finished. So Steve was 5th, right? I'm not putting this on camera because one of you guys did it.
So what's the problem here, Mark?
Well, I think our cameraman took out 1 extra bag that doesn't belong to us.
Wasn't the cameraman?
I think so.
Whose bag is it belong to?
I think it's Matt Carter's. Hey, man. Hey, Matt Carter's bag got put out on the sidewalk here. Yeah. See you in 5 minutes.
The guys were part of the Institute program that's run by CSC. And they'll spend half the year on the road, 150 days a year, give or take, a few days. It's a really big travel schedule, in order to accomplish these goals they've set out for themselves.
Hey! All right, make sure he gets that.
I'm open to new things, and I'd like to see it a couple more times, run as an event, and sort of talk it out philosophically with everybody. Does it belong in the Olympics? I'm open to it. Right now I don't see a reason why not. I just think there's probably a few things that need to be tightened up and figured out. Yeah, we'll get a little break now. We're going to go home for Christmas, and after the break, after New Year, we're going to all head back to Europe as a team, and we have 3 World Cups and a couple Europa Cups we're going to do while we're there.